ओके सो हाय गाइस, आई थिंक हम लोग लाइव हैं। और अगर मेरी आवाज़ आप लोगों को अच्छे से आ रही है तो एक बार ज़रूर कमेंट सेक्शन में लिख के बताइए। पता नहीं, जब तक लाइव नहीं करते तब तक नींद नहीं आती रात को ढंग से। लाइव तो करना बनता है। आज बारी है सदगुरु की। हमने रिएक्शन किया आचार्य प्रशांत के ऊपर, कल किया था संदीप महेश्वरी के ऊपर, और आज बारी है सदगुरु की। तो मुझे सदगुरु के इन कॉन्वर्सेशन विद सदगुरु वाले जो यूथ एंड ट्रूथ, बेसिकली नॉट इन कॉन्वर्सेशन बट यूथ एंड ट्रूथ वाले जो वीडियोस हैं वो बहुत पसंद है। ये जो यूथ एंड ट्रूथ वाली डिबेट हुई है वो बहुत पसंद है, एंड उसी में से मैंने एक निकाली है। सो ये 2019 में हुई थी सदगुरु की एट यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ कोलंबिया यूनिवर्सिटी न्यूयॉर्क में, अप्रैल 29, 2019। सो इसी को आज हम लोग देखेंगे, इसी के ऊपर रिएक्शन देंगे। सो लेट्स मूव ऑन, लेट्स स्टार्ट।
Good evening. Okay. Please.
So today, can everyone hear me? Cool. So today we're going to talk about two different buckets. One is about the self, and the other is self's context within society. Between those two, there's a very common theme of figuring out what our purpose is within self and society. I think it's something that a lot of our generation faces. It's dubbed the millennial existential crisis, something that I've been through myself. So to start off today, we wanted to figure out when it comes to purpose.
ये एग्जिस्टेंशियल क्राइसिस बड़ा फेस करते हैं यार। अपने यहाँ किसी को नहीं सोचता कि क्यों हम जी रहे हैं, ज़िंदगी का मकसद क्या है। इनको बड़ा एग्जिस्टेंशियल क्राइसिस रहता है।
What has defined what
ज़िंदगी का मीनिंग ढूंढना है इनको।
your purpose is in this
ढूंढते।
world, as it has led to you being here at Columbia Business School and the Youth and Truth program, but as well as if you have any words for other people in the audience or just me would be fine as well, around how do we find purpose in this world?
Talking about buckets, I think you should kick the bucket. Because self and society are not entirely two different things. It's so many people put together, it's society, isn't it? Just a word. When we do not want to address you as an individual, but we want to address you as a group of people, we say this is a society. But that's just a word. If you really come down, they're just only people, individual people. Well, a certain group of people may agree upon a few aspects and they may think they are one society. But if you further go down, people are just people, individuals are just individuals. You can't really merge them and say these are all one kind. There's no such thing. Maybe there are a few things that they agree upon, which makes them into various kinds of society. If you're a secret society, maybe there are more things that you agree upon. But we should kick those buckets, because when we see that to address issues in the world, we cannot go about addressing individuals, then we make a society. When we find societies are not still effective ways to handle, then we make it a nation. When we see that is also not an effective way to handle, then we make a global situation or an international fora or something like this. So this is only in terms of when we're looking at solutions, how to find a larger solution. A larger solution is something always individuals will disagree with in so many different levels, isn't it? Is there any one thing on the planet that all of us agree on. There's no such thing. Individual people always disagree with something, but we also agree it's all right because it seems to be working for everybody. I don't like the speed limit in America. But I agree with it, all sorts of people are driving, all right, 70 miles, I'll drive at that. Once in a way I get heavy on the right leg, but fine. So, what is the mission, you're asking? If this same question was asked in a different situation, people would be… In a way, this also borders on that. People are asking, what is the God-given purpose of my life? But I agree with it, all sorts of people. Whatever is the source of creation, what makes you think the source of creation which created this cosmos for which you do not know where it begins, where it ends, even keeping account of you, forget about giving you a specific purpose.
ये मस्त था सीरियसली बोलना पड़ेगा, ये मस्त था। तुम्हें ऐसा क्यों लगता है कि तुम इतने खास हो गए, किसी को ये जो इटर्निटी है ये तुम्हारा ध्यान रखेगी या उसको ऐसा लगेगा कि भाई क्या बोलते हैं इस आदमी को मुझे एंटरटेन भी करना चाहिए? वाई? क्यों इतना इम्पोर्टेंस दे रखी है तुमने अपने आप को कि हर टाइम पर्पस 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 करते रहता है? लेट्स सी क्या अभी हो पाता है। आई थिंक अभी होना चाहिए। हाँ अभी कुछ सही लग रहा है मेरे को। ओके so I think we should continue. करें?
Maybe the source of this creation doesn't even know you exist. Hello?
हाँ भाई बंदे की शक्ल देखो क्या खतरनाक दिख रहा है। ऐसा लग रहा है फट गई है सुन के, हालत खराब हो गई बंदे की। क्या किसी को पता ही नहीं है? ऊपर वाले को मेरी चिंता ही नहीं, यूनिवर्स को मेरी चिंता ही नहीं। ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है?
Because this very solar system is a tiny little speck in this cosmic space, isn't it? Tomorrow morning, believe me, if the entire solar system evaporates, nobody will notice it. That's how small it is. In that speck,
yes.
Planet Earth is a microspeck. New York City is a super micro speck. In that, you are a big man. This is a serious problem. You think there is a God-given purpose for you. This is the peak of human arrogance. Because
क्या बिना पर्पस के नहीं जिया जा सकता? सारा सवाल ये है। सद्गुरु जो सवाल उठा रहे हैं, जिस तरफ इशारा कर रहे हैं, वो ये है कि क्यों तुम्हें पर्पस चाहिए? क्या ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि बिना पर्पस के लिए जियो, बस जीने के लिए जियो? पर्पस की क्या ज़रूरत है तुम्हें? Why you guys need पर्पस? क्या होगा अगर पर्पस होगा उससे? तो लाइफ को तो मीनिंग वो मिलता है जो आप उसे मीनिंग देते हो। That's what he's trying to say.
all this is coming from the basis that has been spread in the name of religion and faith and whatever, that the existence is human-centric. Existence is not human-centric. We're just one more creature, which happened recently according to the evolutionary sciences.
Just like any other
Even
species.
today, if you do not know this, if all the worms on the planet disappear today, in 12 to 18 months, all life will cease on this planet. If all the insects disappear, somewhere between 4.5 to 6 years, all life will cease on this planet. But if all the human beings disappear, the world will flourish, planet will flourish, all right? So, this sense of…
सीधी सी बात यह है कि सारी मुसीबतों की जड़ कौन है? इंसान। इंसान है असली मुसीबत की जड़।
assumed, self-assumed significance that people have brought to themselves has made us walk with absolute insensitivity on this planet. Absolutely insensitive to every other life because we think everything is here to serve us. Ask an ant, does it want to serve you?
No.
Hello?
Believe me, no.
Go sit on an ant hill and check whether it wants to serve you. It doesn't want to serve you. It doesn't matter what kind
उसकी अपनी जिंदगी है, उसका अपना इकोसिस्टम है, वो तुम्हें सर्व करने के लिए नहीं है।
of books you write for yourself. Ants don't believe it. If you don't understand about the ants, you come to the southern Indian forest, the tigers definitely don't believe it, okay, that they are here to serve you, you will be served to them. So this idea, we must give it up, because whenever people thought, wherever it was propagated, that I am doing God-given purpose, I am fulfilling.
Okay. I don't know, guess आजकल कुछ ज़्यादा ही हो रहा है।
Fulfilling, they did the most horrendous things on the planet. Whenever people said, God told me this, those people did the most horrible things. Hello? So it's time that we are here. As human societies, we have issues, we have problems, we have struggles. Whatever you think needs to be sorted out, and whatever you think is your aptitude to sort out, you pick up that damn thing and sort it out. It's not any God-given mission. You got to do something useful, because there is some joy in solving something. This is all the choice we…
Basically, बात इतनी सी है, now as well, okay. Basically बात इतनी सी है कि तुम जो मीनिंग देना चाहते हो अपनी लाइफ को दे सकते हो। गॉड गिवन पर्पस ढूंढने की क्या जरूरत है? जो तुमको ठीक लगे, जिस डायरेक्शन में जाना ठीक लगे, उसको पकड़ो, उधर चलो। लेकिन लोगों ने ये एक नया वो पकड़ लिया, गॉड गिवन पर्पस। I think let me change the settings, एक मिनट दो उधर, सर्दी हो रहा है, तो नहीं हो रहा, नहीं ठीक है।
we have. You can either be a part of the problem or part of the solution. If you enjoy being part of the problem, do it, there'll be consequences. Yes, sometimes it's fun to create problems. Yes, it is.
Just for the entertainment purpose.
It'll have its own kinds of consequences. The only thing you have to learn is do whatever the hell you want, just do it well. But for every action you
जो करना है करो, ठीक से करो।
perform, there is a consequence. When the consequence comes your way, if you're able to joyfully go through the consequence…
हाँ, ये इम्पोर्टेंट है कि जो करना चाहते हो वो करो, लेकिन ये भी याद रखना कि उसका एक कॉन्सिक्वेंस भी होगा। लेकिन लोग जनरली अपनी मर्जी की करना चाहते हैं, लेकिन उससे फिर जो आउटपुट आएगा उसे नहीं झेलना चाहते, उसे कोई और झेलो। ये है प्रॉब्लम की चीज़।
You can do anything you wish. But when the consequence comes, you cry. If you're that kind, then you must control your action.
What if you're just a crybaby, though?
Then if you're a baby, you must be with your mother.
इधर उधर नहीं घूमना चाहिए फिर तुमको।
Mothers, she said she has more than one mother, so I'm saying mothers.
So on the note of purpose, one thing that I think that I'm constantly chasing is, and I would say I don't know when I've reached it, is the pursuit of happiness. I think everyone in this room at some point, maybe now you're asking yourself, or if ask yourself, like, have you reached your pursuit of happiness, and kind of understanding why it can be elusive? For me, happiness stems, like, I think of my family, because they're such a critical piece to my love and happiness, but oftentimes I feel like I lose sight of it when I'm in this room, when I'm at Columbia Business School, when I'm at work, because I'm trying to get to that next level ultimately to help my family, but how do we keep track of what's most important and that purpose?
कुछ बात है इस आदमी की आवाज में। आचार्य प्रशांत की आवाज में एक देसीपन है, वो मुझे बढ़िया लगता है, बट इनकी आवाज में एक स्मूथनेस है, बड़ी से बड़ी बात बड़े आराम से और बहुत पॉइंट के साथ बोल जाते हैं। खैर, इन देवी जी की बात करते हैं। वेस्टर्नर्स में ये आई वाला फंडा बड़ा सबसे ज़्यादा डोमिनेटिंग फैक्टर रहता है। आई, वो हर चीज़ को, शायद वहाँ का कल्चर ही ऐसा है कि वो अपने आप को ध्यान में रखते ही सारी चीज़, मेरी हैप्पीनेस, मेरी फैमिली, मेरा करियर, मुझे नेक्स्ट लेवल पे जाना है, तो मेरी टेंशन भी तो होगी।
Purpose for me being my family and the pursuit of happiness.
Say you're of Mexican origin. Family may mean a different thing to you. Ask Alex, family means crime.
With tears of laughter, huh? You know, my parents are.
No, when a few decades ago, when the Italians said family, it meant crime, all right? So, family is the smallest unit of a society. But if you get overly identified with it, you will become a crime. You must understand this.
लालची हो जाता है आदमी जब आदमी ज़्यादा फैमिली आइडेंटिफाइड हो जाता है।
All the crime on this planet, all the human crimes that we commit, only human beings commit crimes, nobody else does. What you call as evil, what you call as genocide, I'm going to the extreme words, what you call as prejudice, everything has come because of limited identifications that each one of us hold. This is my family, this is my race, this is my religion, this is my nation. It is from this all the terrible things happen on the planet, isn't it? People who are doing this, they believe at that moment they're just doing the right thing. This is what identity does to you. You need to understand the very structure of human intelligence. There are different dimensions of intelligence, and fortunately, today in our education systems, we are exploring only one, which is the intellect. If I ask you a simple question, please you must answer.
इंटेलेक्ट, अब यहाँ पे थोड़ा ट्रिकीएस्ट पार्ट शुरू होता है। सदगुरु जिसकी बात कर रहे हैं इंटेलेक्ट, वो एक्चुअल में एक बहुत छोटा सा पार्ट है हमारे पूरे ब्रेन का, और उसी को हम हिंदी में मन बोलते हैं। मन किससे मिलके बना? तीन चीज़ों से मिलके। मन तीन चीज़ों से मिलके बनता है। पहला है योर थॉट्स, सेकेंड वन इज़ योर इमोशंस, एंड थर्ड वन आर योर हैबिट्स, जिसको गीता कहती है सतोगुण। सतोगुण इज़ योर थॉट्स, रजोगुण योर इमोशंस, एंड तमोगुण आर योर हैबिट्स। अगर इसको और डिटेल में समझना है तो आई कैन रिकमेंड अ बुक। एक बुक है ज़ेन योगा बाय पीजे सहर। उसको पढ़ना, उन्होंने बहुत ब्यूटीफुली अष्टांग योग को ही उन्होंने एक्सप्लेन किया है, और उन्होंने अष्टांग योग को सेंटर में रखते हुए, उन्होंने जो पतंजलि योग सूत्रास हैं उनको सेंटर में रखते हुए पूरे ब्रेन को एक्सप्लेन किया बहुत ब्यूटीफुली। उससे आपको समझने में बहुत आसानी होगी।
Answer this, because I'm going to bless you at the end of the answer. Would you want your intellect to be sharp or blunt?
Sharp or blunt? Sharp.
Because only if it's sharp, it works well, because it's a cutting instrument.
Yes.
Yes? It can only dissect. Now, if you're using this intellect to do everything, to cut, it's okay. If you want to also stitch with it, you will be in tatters. Is that the reason?
बिलीव मी, ये इतनी सही एनालॉजी है ना, इतनी सही एनालॉजी है, मैं बता नहीं सकता। क्योंकि इंटेलेक्ट का काम ही यही है, तोड़ के चीज़ों को देखना। इसीलिए वो हर किसी को तोड़ देता है, हर आइडेंटिटी को वो तोड़ देता है। इसीलिए इंटेलेक्ट नाम देता है। हमने वर्ड्स बनाए हैं। लैंग्वेज का काम है शब्द पैदा करना। और शब्द बेसिकली करते क्या हैं? लैंग्वेज करती क्या है? लैंग्वेज इंटेलेक्ट की देन है। और इंटेलेक्ट करता क्या है? हर चीज़ को नाम देता चला जाता है और नाम दे के तोड़ता चला जाता है। जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल, ये एक ही बॉडी है, ऊपर से लेकर नीचे तक एक ही बॉडी है, लेकिन इस एक बॉडी में आप देखोगे तो हर चीज़ को हमने नाम दिया हुआ है। जैसे ये आँख है, इसको आँख दे दिया, इसको नाक बोल दिया, इसको होठ बोल दिया, इसको कान बोल दिया, इसको गाल बोल दिया। हाथ हैं, हाथ में भी उंगलियां हैं, उंगलियों में नाखून है। तोड़ता चला जा रहा है, नाम देता चला जा रहा है। लेकिन अगर फिर से इंटीग्रेट करोगे पूरे को, तो ये एक्चुअल में एक बॉडी ही है। एक ही बॉडी के पार्ट हैं ये सारे के सारे। और ये एक्चुअल पार्ट्स हैं भी नहीं, ये तो सिर्फ नाम है। इट इज़ जस्ट फॉर द नेम सेक। ये करता है इंटेलेक्ट। ये प्रॉब्लम है इंटेलेक्ट की। और ऐसे ही जैसे ये इधर कर रहा है, अपनी बॉडी के साथ कर रहा है, ऐसे ही बाहर भी करता है। यही चीज़ ये बाहर भी करता है।
Why all the trousers are going into tatters? Essentially, a cutting instrument, if you try to use it on everything, it can cause a lot of misery. Right now, please see, for most of you, even though you're from Brooklyn, nobody ever stabbed you with a dagger.
Not yet.
They ignored you. So, I'm asking, how much physical suffering has actually come from outside? Almost nothing. Rest is all in self-help. If you sit by yourself, why? Because we gave you a sharp intellect.
किसी और को तुम्हें दुख देने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं, तुम खुद ही काफ़ी हो। इंसान ऐसा बना हुआ है कि वो अकेला ही काफ़ी है अपनी सेवा करने के लिए, किसी और की ज़रूरत नहीं है। खुद ही अपना वो बैठा हुआ दुख देता रहता है। यू नो, हिंदी में दो शब्द हैं, एक है दर्द और एक है दुख, या कष्ट भी बोलते हैं उनको। कष्ट है और दुख है। देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड कष्ट एंड देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड दुख। जब आपके शरीर पे चोट लगती है, कट जाता है, मान लो हाथ कट जाता है, तो क्या होता है? वो कष्ट है, दर्द भी बोलते हैं उसे। कष्ट हमेशा बाहर से होता है, कोई दे सकता है आपको। दर्द या कष्ट आपको कहीं बाहर से दिया जा सकता है, आपको चोट लग सकती है, एक्सीडेंट हो सकता है, लेकिन उससे आपको दुख होगा या नहीं होगा वो आप पे निर्भर करता है। क्योंकि दुख साइकोलॉजिकल है। दुख इधर घूमता है, इधर इधर इधर। दुख ऐसी चीज है जो आप खुद बनाते हो। चैलेंजेस हर किसी की लाइफ में होते हैं, लेकिन उन चैलेंजेस को देखोगे कैसे, ये आप पे निर्भर करता है। उन्हें अपॉर्चुनिटी की तरह देखोगे या दुख की तरह देखोगे। और ज़्यादातर लोग उसे दुख की तरह देखने में माहिर हैं, इसीलिए लोग खुद से अपना दुख खुद ही पैदा कर लेते हैं, किसी और की ज़रूरत नहीं है।
If we had given you the brain of an earthworm, you would be fine.
हाँ, तुम बेसिकली ये कह रहे हो कि क्या बोलते हैं, मेरी जो दिक्कत है वो मेरी वजह से है। मेरी वजह से मतलब मेरे दिमाग की वजह से। तो फिर तुमको भाई ये दिमाग निकाल के किसी जानवर का दिमाग दे देते हैं, सीधा साधा चलेगा, एक सीधी सादी जिंदगी जिएगा, अंत में मर जाएगा एक जानवर की। तुम कह रहे हो कि तुम्हारी गलती है, कि मुझे ऊपर वाले की गलती है या बनाने वाले की गलती, तुम्हें एक इंटेलिजेंट मशीन दे दी, इंटेलिजेंट ब्रेन दिया है।
You would be fine. Yes or no? Right now, the problem is just this. We have a cerebral capability which most human beings have not learnt how to handle. Hello? You can call this stress, you can call this anxiety, you can call this misery.
यही एग्जैक्ट बात है। ज़्यादातर लोग नहीं जानते कि अपने ही थॉट्स को डायरेक्शन कैसे देनी है। उन्हें अपने माइंड को संभालना नहीं आता। बेसिकली बात सिर्फ इतनी है। इसीलिए ये दुख पैदा करता रहता है।
Misery, you can call this cruelty, you can call this murder, you can call this whatever. Essentially, all that's happened is your intelligence is turned against you, that's all. Why has this happened? Simply because of limited identities that you've taken. It may look like great, my family, my nation, it is all these people.
जब इस लिमिटेड आइडेंटिटी पे हमला होगा तो क्या होगा? तब दुखी होगा, तब डर लगेगा, तब गुस्सा आएगा, बिकॉज तुमने अपने आप को बहुत छोटा सा, तुमने अपने लिए एक बहुत छोटा सा कुआं तैयार कर लिया है अपने आप ही। और जब उस कुएं पे हमला होगा या उस कुएं को कुछ होगा तो तुम्हारी इनसिक्योरिटी बढ़ेगी, तुम्हें दुख भी होगा, तुम्हें डर भी लगेगा, तुम्हें गुस्सा भी आएगा, फ्रस्ट्रेशन होगी, ये सारी चीज़ें होंगी बिकॉज ऑफ योर लिमिटेड आइडेंटिटी।
If you are strongly identified with something, you're willing to die for it, isn't it? Hello? If you're willing to die for it, you're also willing to kill for it, yes or no?
Just like the terrorist. टेररिस्ट क्या करते हैं? वो एक चीज़ में बहुत स्ट्रांगली आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं, ऑन द नेम ऑफ गॉड वो कुछ भी कर सकते हैं बिकॉज ऑफ दैट लिमिटेड आइडेंटिटी।
Hello? Whatever you're willing to die for, you're also willing to kill for. Isn't that the only problem we have on this planet right now? Everybody is willing to die for something and everybody is willing to kill for something. It could be family, it could be nation, it could be race, religion, whatever. Is it not time that you upgrade your way of how you identify yourself? With what do you identify yourself? There was a tradition in traditional education in India. Before a child starts education, we believed that, even now, we do this to some extent, from 0 to 12 years of age, no any kind of learning. Just a child should play well, eat well, sleep well, because our intent is the brain should grow to a reasonable size before we load it with something. It's a sensible thing. No, today they want to do speed learning at the age of 3. Some people are saying when the mother is pregnant, how to teach the child mathematics. So till 12 years of age, we don't want to teach the child anything except to eat well, to play well, to sleep. Because these three things will decide how your body and your brain grows. So before we start education process, there is a thing called fixing the identity of the child. So one mantra that they will start chanting is Aham Brahmasmi. This means my identity is cosmic.
Not with this mantra, क्योंकि जिस चीज़ को आप जानते नहीं हो उससे आइडेंटिफाई कैसे करोगे? ये प्रॉब्लम है इसके साथ। और पहले जो है, अगर आप हिंदुइज्म को थोड़ा भी स्टडी करोगे तो आपको पता चलेगा कि 4 पिलर्स होते हैं ना वहाँ पे, धर्म, अर्थ, काम और मोक्ष। तो स्टार्टिंग में धर्म की बात होती है, दैट्स धर्म इज़ व्हाट? फिक्सिंग योर आइडेंटिटी, जिसकी ये बात कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे। पहले पता कर लो कि तुम हो कौन, अपना धर्म पता करो, मतलब अपना स्वभाव पता करो, हु यू एक्चुअली आर, हु एम आई। रमन महर्षि का फेमस कोट है, हु एम आई। पहले इस आइडेंटिटी को फिक्स कर लो, पता कर लो कि तुम कौन हो। उसके बाद आता है धर्म, अर्थ। अर्थ मीन्स अपने टाइप से, जो भी तुम्हारा टाइप है उसके हिसाब से एक काम चुन लो जिससे तुम पैसा कमा सको, क्योंकि जीवन चलाना है ना भाई। तो धर्म, अपना टाइप पता करना, अपना स्वभाव पता करना। उसके बाद अर्थ, अपने टाइप के हिसाब से एक काम ढूंढना जिससे तुम पैसा कमा सको। काम, थर्ड स्टेप है काम, मीन्स कामना, अपनी कामनाओं को, उस कमाए हुए पैसे से जो भी तुम्हारी इच्छाएं हैं उन्हें पूरा करो, जीवन को भोगो। और जब भोग लो अंत में तो मोक्ष की तरफ आते हैं फिर। लास्ट में मोक्ष है। मोक्ष पे आके जीवन का चक्र जो है, सर्कल ऑफ लाइफ पूरा हो जाता है। मोक्ष है बेसिकली, फिर जब जन्मे थे तो खाली हाथ थे ना, मोक्ष है फिर इन सबको दोबारा से छोड़ देना। फिजिकली, पहले तो फिजिकली भी छोड़ देते थे, बट मोक्ष है इस सब से जो तुम चिपक गए थे, अब इससे छूटने की तैयारी करना, क्योंकि अगर छूट नहीं पाए तो अटक जाओगे। इसीलिए नाम है मोक्ष, मोह और क्षय, कल जिसकी हमने बात की थी। नहीं छोड़ पाए तो अटक जाओगे उसी पे। तो दैट्स व्हाई वी हैव 4 पिलर्स, धर्म, अर्थ, काम और मोक्ष।
Not even global. My identification is not with my family, not with my father and mother, not with my nation, not with my religion, but my identity is with the cosmos. See, if your identity is not with any limited thing, if you walked into this room, you actually have no problem with anybody, just like that. You may get into trouble later, that's a different matter. In transactions, friction can happen. But the moment I walk into the room, just looking at your face, I'm having problems. This is a different level of problem.
जब तक मैं मेरी बातचीत भी नहीं हुई है और मुझे तुमसे प्रॉब्लम है, जस्ट बिकॉज या तो तुम मेरी जाति के नहीं हो या तुम मेरे देश के नहीं हो। लोग यही करते हैं ना कि मुझे प्रॉब्लम है, मुझे इस आदमी से प्रॉब्लम है पहले ही। कोई आदमी मिडिल ईस्ट का है, पहले ही सस्पिशियस है। अमेरिकन को बहुत प्रॉब्लम होती है मिडिल ईस्ट के लोगों से, पहले ही सस्पिशियस है। अभी तक जाना भी नहीं उस आदमी को, बात नहीं की, बट पहले ही ओपिनियन बना लेना, ओपिनियनेटिव हो जाना पहले से ही किसी के बारे में। दैट्स अ रियल प्रॉब्लम। ये प्रॉब्लम है क्योंकि अभी तक आप जाने भी नहीं हो उस आदमी को, और बिना जाने अगर आप ओपिनियन बना रहे तो पहले ही यू आर बिकमिंग जजमेंटल। दैट इज व्हाट इज हैपनिंग।
Problem, isn't it? Hello? If I am identified with my nation or religion or race or whatever, the moment I step into this room, I already have a problem. Before I meet you, before I really have a chance to have trouble with you. When transactions begin, frictions can happen. That's a
देखा
different matter.
जाएगा तब की तब।
But just by looking at your face,
बात
I'm
करने के बाद अगर आपको, जानने के बाद, बात करने के बाद अगर आपको वो आदमी पसंद नहीं आ रहा है, उसकी बातें नहीं पसंद आ रही हैं या उसकी बिहेवियर नहीं पसंद आ रहा है, दैट्स अ डिफरेंट मैटर। बट आपको देखा और आपके अपीयरेंस से, आपके होने से ही मुझे दिक्कत है, वो उससे ज़्यादा बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है।
trouble, this is because we are identified
आप,
with
क्योंकि इसमें
something
प्रॉब्लम ये है कि आप अपनी लिमिटेड आइडेंटिटी की वजह से दूसरे को मौका भी नहीं दे रहे हो, दूसरे को मौका भी नहीं दे रहे हो आप।
very limited. And the nature of your intellect is such, please look at this very carefully. Anything that you identify with, your intellect will strive very hard to protect that identity, always. And your intellect is like a knife, it cuts. Whether you physically pull out a knife and stab somebody, or you poke people with your intellect, it could equally hurt, isn't it so? Hello? Huh? Can you hurt somebody with your thought, your emotion, your idea, with your words and whatever else? Just the way you look at them, you can hurt them. So intellect is essentially a cutting instrument, a sharp instrument, because you said you want it sharp. I hope you kept it sharp. It's important to keep it sharp, otherwise it doesn't work. So, the moment you identify with something, your intellect is striving to protect that identity. Young people, it's very important that if you cannot imagine a cosmic identity, at least a global identity is a must for you. Otherwise, you being empowered by education, you are the source of future disasters. Yes. See, I want you to understand this. Why is it? Why is it all the cutting-edge technology first goes into military use? National identity, isn't it? Yes or no? The most powerful tools in the world are all designed…
ये सबको अपनी आइडेंटिटी, नेशनल आइडेंटिटी प्रोटेक्ट करनी है, वेदर वो चाइनीज़ हो। चाइनीज़ क्या है? नेशनल आइडेंटिटी है, अमेरिकन एक आइडेंटिटी है, इंडियन एक आइडेंटिटी है। इसलिए हर मिलिट्री चाहती है कि उसके पास बेस्ट ऑफ द बेस्ट वेपन्स हों, ये करवाती
And
है।
how to eliminate you one day?
बहुत सिंपल शब्दों में
So
सारे आविष्कार इसलिए किए जाते हैं, आदि मतलब मनुष्य जाति ने बड़े से बड़े आविष्कार इसलिए किए हैं ताकि वो एक दिन एक दूसरे को उड़ा सके। नहीं तो वाई बेसिकली यू गाइज नीड एटम बॉम्ब और हाइड्रोजन बॉम्ब। कुछ भी और अच्छा किया जा सकता था इस रेवोल्यूशनरी टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ, लेकिन आदमी ने बॉम्ब बनाया। और अभी भी राइट नाउ करंट सिचुएशन जो चल रही है यूक्रेन रशिया के बीच, चाइना और यूएस के बीच, अभी भी खतरा मंडरा रहा है कि वी आर ऑन द वर्ज ऑफ कोलैप्स। एक गलत कदम और सारी दुनिया खत्म, कोई नहीं बचेगा। Just because of this, just to protect the identity.
our brains are working to protect our identity all the time. Well, I don't want to get into any political stuff, but the wall may be a more clear manifestation, a more blatant manifestation of that, but essentially it's limited
उस टाइम पे यूएस मैक्सिको का वॉल का लफड़ा चल रहा था, तब ये 2019 का था। आई थिंक डोनाल्ड ट्रंप उस टाइम पे प्रेसिडेंट थे, ये तब की बात है।
identity, isn't it?
उसी को रेफर कर रहे
Why
हैं।
is it that I wouldn't like to kill my child, but if you are walking on the street to get $10 out of your pocket, I will slash you? Why? Because you're not mine, isn't it? Yes or no? My identity is only with this, not with that. So, one fundamental thing you must do,
थोड़ी सी अपनी आइडेंटिटी को बढ़ाओ।
because all of you are in premier institutions getting empowered with education. Education is an empowerment. That means without education, what you could do, maybe you will do 100 times more with education. When you have such a possibility, it is very important. Your identity is not a limited identity. At least identify with the planet and all the life on this planet, if you can't think of cosmic.
Thank you for that answer. That was really…
I'm sorry, I was referring to the Italians, just…
No, I think you touched on a lot of things that are quite pressing for us at Columbia, in the US, in the world at large. I mean, you went around the issue, but I think I'll kind of bring it in. Politics. In America, we're more and more divided than before and quite polarized. For me, this is something that troubles me as someone in this community that has some less than popular opinions sometimes. I'm conscious of how I'm received because of people who are, quote, passionate of these identities that their intellects defend, to use your words. How can I and others that share, I guess, my desire to bring people together in a divided world, divided community, even a divided street, how can we kind of be individual actors to get people to focus on everything you just said, what we have in common and not what sets us apart?
See, to find solutions for any problems or any situations, because many people think it's not a problem, all right? So, to address any situation, first of all, we must face the situation as it is. Now you're saying it is getting more and more divided. I don't think so.
It's already divided.
I think it's always
It's
was
been
divided. You may not face it. Well, many of us face it.
और बाहर से जो लोग आते हैं उन्हें तो झेलना
I face
पड़ता है
it. Every time I come to the immigration, the way they talk to me, why? Why? Just looking at my face, you should see the way they address me.
Does that make you angry?
No. When somebody acts stupid, why will I get angry? When somebody is exhibiting how small they are, compassion, not anger, isn't it? Pity. If I'm in a bad mood, pity. If I'm in a good mood, compassion.
Deep
Anger.
डीप नॉलेज अबीर मजुमदार डीप नॉलेज के वीडियो पे रिएक्ट कीजिए डॉक्टर आशीष शुक्ला ओके आई विल टेक दैट इन कंसिडरेशन श्योर
Anger is not the thing because you're just showing how small a egg you are.
अभी बच्चे
You're
हो
still
तो
an egg, you are not
basically.
hatched, that's all I'm saying. So, you must understand, very deep-rooted divides have always existed in this society. You don't want to face it. You've been glossing over it for a long time. You can't… look, I'm sure you're not naive enough to believe in just 2.5 years of your celebrity president, suddenly country has become divided? Come on, it always was divided. Now the language has reached the top.
धीरे धीरे पहले धीरे धीरे अंदर ही अंदर हो रहा था कुछ अब वो ऊपर तक जब वो ऊपर तक पहुंच जाता है तो फिर खुल के सामने आता है हायरार्की में बैठे हुए लोगों के ऊपर पास पहुंच जाती है पावर या कोई ऐसा आदमी टॉप तक पहुंच जाता है जो डिवाइडिंग माइंडसेट का है तो फिर वो सब चीज़ें खुल के सामने दिखाई देती हैं
Yes or no? It's just that the language is coming to the surface. I think it's better come to the surface than just boil inside forever. At least let everybody face it, this is what we are. Hello?
ऐसे ही हैं हम
You must face it. I'll tell you, I come to the immigration. I follow all the rules. I have a global entry, all right? I come. After I pass the immigration, because constantly I'm in all kinds of bright lights, so these fluorescent lights kind of irritate me, so I wear my shades. After I've crossed the immigration, when
ये लाइट मुझे भी इरिटेट करती है लग रहा है मुझे भी एक आधे शेड
I come to the baggage,
खरीदने पड़ेंगे
do you know what? This not happened once, this happened a few times. They asked me to come and take off my glasses. I said, why? They said, you want to come to my office? I'm saying, what the hell are you trying to enforce on me? There are many others, white Americans walking around with glasses.
उनको
You
उससे
don't ask them to
problem
take
नहीं
it
है।
off today, I'm telling you in 21st century, all right? So you don't believe you are a just and fair society, suddenly because of a new president something has happened. I'm glad he's bringing it to the surface. The leadership is talking that language. Otherwise it's been there, you may not face it. You may not face it because of the color of your skin, many of us are facing it. Yes, if you walk into some of these golf clubs and stuff, I can play better than them, but if I walk in there and say hello, they'll just look through me, all right? So, if somebody is going to
लोग पहले ही जजमेंटल हो जाते हैं पहले
be hurt by this, they could be hurt, I am not that kind. I just see it's their pathetic condition of mind, that they are like that. So it doesn't bother me, but suppose I'm seeking a job or I want to do something else, I'm sure they would make sure that things don't work for me. Yes or no? So this is not a new happening, it's been there. Maybe slowly things are changing, but I think it's good, it's coming to the surface, it's up in your face, you're facing it, you're embarrassed by it, it's a good thing. That is a first step to transformation.
हाँ जब तक कुछ बुरा है इसे आप एक्सेप्ट ही नहीं करोगे कि कुछ बुरा हो रहा है तब तक आप चेंज भी कैसे करोगे उसे और अच्छा है कि वो चीज़ हो रही है और तभी तो बदल
Am I
पाओगे
saying something wrong?
First step to transformation is now it's out in the world. We see it. It's something, in India also we have divisions at an all-time high. What's now that second step that we can take as individuals going into the society?
To improve it.
See, again you're repeating that. Even in India, it's an all-time high. It's not at an all-time high. It is just people and media is playing it up at a certain level, all right? Unfortunately, in a democratic society, there should be a free press. Unfortunately, all media across the world is owned by some corporation or the other, it is no more free. It is no more free, it is tangled up with money, big time.
Yes.
There are no more dedicated journalists. I'm not saying they're not at all there. Largely they're not there, they're all serving a company, all right?
कौन एक आध की कौन बात सुनेगा यार, जब है ही नहीं। ज़्यादातर तो कॉरपोरेशंस कंपनीज ओन करती हैं। इंडिया में भी चाहे उठा लो देख लो, या दुनिया में कहीं पे भी दिखा उठा लो, बड़े बड़े जितने भी न्यूज़पेपर्स हैं या मीडिया हाउसेस हैं या फिर न्यूज़ चैनल्स हैं, सबको कोई ना कोई कंपनी ही, बड़ी कंपनी ही ओन करती है। बड़े बिजनेसमैन ही उनको ओन करते हैं, और ये सबको पता है कि बिजनेस और पॉलिटिक्स जुड़े हुए हैं। बिजनेस पॉलिटिक्स को फ़ायदा पहुंचाता है, पॉलिटिक्स बिजनेस को फ़ायदा पहुंचाता है, तो कंट्रोल करना आसान है। तो फ्री प्रेस जैसी आज के दुनिया में कोई चीज़ नहीं है। कुछ एक हैं होंगे जो छोटे मोटे ब्लॉग्स वगैरह हैंडल कर रहे होंगे, लेकिन उनकी कोई सुनता नहीं है। That's a fact.
Yes or no? Hello? It is time we produce some journalists, because media is not just another profession in a democratic society, it is an important pillar of democracy. Yes? Without it, democracy will slowly go away into something else. Because democracy means every 4 years or 5 years, depending on what's the term, a new set of people are going to rule the nation. It could be a complete mess if there is no checks and balances of various kinds. These are all going away because people have taken sides beforehand. Today you know in America, in India also we know now, it was not so some time ago, but these days we know which media belongs to which party, everybody knows. How can it be media? You can't call it media anymore, I'm saying. Yes? Media means what?
यही चीज़ लिबरल्स के साथ भी होती है। लिबरल्स पहले से ही तय करके बैठे। जो आदमी अपने आप को लिबरल कह रहा है वो कह रहा है मैं पहले से लेफ्ट की साइड हूँ। तुम फिर अपने आप को लिबरल कैसे कह सकते हो अगर तुमने साइड पहले से ही सिलेक्ट की हुई है? तो लिबरल का मतलब ही यही होता है कि आदमी हर आइडिया को डिस्कस करने के लिए ओपन है, तभी तो डिबेट कल्चर आता है। डिबेट तुम तभी तो कर सकते हो अगर तुमने पहले से ही सिलेक्ट कर लिया कि किधर जाना है, तो फिर तुम कहाँ लिबरल रह गए। इंडिया में इसीलिए लिबरल्स को गालियां पड़ती हैं। पहले से ही सिलेक्ट करके बैठे हुए हैं कि, और इंडिया में तो पता नहीं, मतलब मुझे नहीं समझ में आता क्या इशू है कि दोनों साइड, लेफ्ट हो के राइट हो, दोनों एक दूसरे को अपोज ही करना। मतलब एक कहेगी कि ये ईस्ट है तो उसने कहना ही है ये वेस्ट है, कोई चांस ही नहीं अग्री हो जाए।
They will report what is there. They can give a commentary about something, but essentially their business is to throw the facts at us. It's for us to form our opinions about what facts that come to us. But today, don't you already know which media belongs to which party? So, when this is the condition, you'll hear a lot of things, and there is social media, anonymous journalists, those who don't dare to put their name on what they're saying, they are saying all kinds of things. But you walk through the country and see, whether it's India or here, it is just the same as it was. There are problems and there are solutions, both are happening, isn't it? So, if you go off television and switch off your phone and walk on the street, you will see everything is quite fine.
I just have one more follow-up. For, I guess, young future business leaders in this room, we are at the very center
Why
of
are you
business.
ignoring me?
Oh, yeah, well, you're a fashion icon, a guru, and more. We don't want to limit you just to future business leaders, you know. And you have a great throw of a frisbee where the videos were. But what role can we play when people aren't as enlightened as, I guess, the people in this room and can't really make the same connections as you? Because we do have agency, right? We are people that want to make a difference and are willing to kind of have the courage to, I guess, have compassion or pity, right? Depending on the mood we're in. How do we, how do we do this? Because I think like that's something that I genuinely want to play a big role in, if I can be honest. I think it's something that I at least would like my life's purpose to have something with that.
So I'm sure in your own little ways within the university, some sense of… you're bringing some sense of… I believe you're bringing some sense of equality and some sense of acceptance for all sorts of people within the university. At the same time, do not take this thing about becoming a missionary for something, because then without knowing what's happening to you, one day you will be totally skewed and off the place and you will be the source of problem. Once you take on something with missionary zeal, you will see, you will get so badly identified with it and you yourself will become a source of problem. I think I can share this with you. When I was just 13, 14 years of age, I almost got into armed struggle, all right? This is the time when Che Guevara is our big brother and we are thinking of armed struggle, we think that's the only way to find solutions for India. Well, then I saw people who were espousing this, teachers and, openly in schools and in colleges, professors talking about how you should all join armed struggle. A particular professor who had a sway on a few of us, and his son and his daughter, they were twins, both his son and daughter, they were my classmates.
Million different goals, one partner. Octa Effects.
ये कहाँ से आ गया?
And we are all ready. Actually, in another 3 to 4 days, we are supposed to leave for the jungles of Andhra Pradesh to go and fight. Then I asked this fellow, his name was Ajay, I said, hey, so we're all going, what are we taking? He said, no, I'm not coming. I said, why? No, my father doesn't want me to go. So he wants us to go. He doesn't want his son to go. Then I sat back and thought, what is this about? I thought, we are all in the revolution. Hey, you were revolution. I thought we are all in the revolution and suddenly, okay, the girl is not going because only the boys were going, all right, but at least this boy is supposed to go, he's just my age in my class. But no, father is saying, no, you cannot go because you can't die there. These idiots must…
इन गधों को मरने दो, ये हैं क्रांतिकारी, ये हैं क्रांति करने के लिए, तुमको जाने की थोड़ी ज़रूरत है जब दूसरे हैं तुम्हारे बदले में जान देने के लिए। यही होता है।
Die. And actually, I stepped back. I participated in various mildly bordering on revolution, sticking posters and doing this and that, giving that kind of stuff, writing very strong what we thought was justice, but actually when I look back and see, so juvenile and unjust by itself. At that time it looked like this is justice. One thing we must understand, the moment we speak about justice, I know this
छोटे ना वो छोटा सा टेस्ट भी कितना डराता था, जो छोटे मतलब आदमी के लिए हर छोटी छोटी चीज़ कितनी बड़ी हो जाती है ना। स्कूल में वो छोटा सा टेस्ट भी कितना डराता है, आज भी आदमी कितनी छोटी छोटी चीज़ों से डरता है।
It's a delicate thing to speak in America, but I want you to look at this with absolute openness. The moment we speak about justice, unknowingly we will talk about revenge. Slowly we will just slip into that. So, is justice needed? Absolutely, but I'm saying the moment you start talking about it, it's like freedom. The moment you say freedom, you'll start doing freaky things, because freedom is a consequence. So is justice. Justice is a consequence of a mature society.
Let me, यार ताली बजाना चाहता हूँ इस लाइन पे मैं। क्या बात कही है बंदे ने, क्या बात कही है। समझो इस चीज़ को, जस्टिस 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 चिल्लाने से जस्टिस नहीं होता कि न्याय चाहिए या फ्रीडम चाहिए। फ्रीडम किन्हें मिलती है? मैच्योर लोगों को, जिनको अंदर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी उठाने की, जिनमें रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी उठाने की हिम्मत होती है, उनको कायदे में फ्रीडम मिलनी चाहिए। अगर आप एक इमेच्योर आदमी को फ्रीडम दोगे तो वो बवाल मचाएगा, वो गुंडागर्दी करेगा। क्यों गुड़गांव में इतनी गुंडागर्दी है, या नोएडा और गुड़गांव जैसे एरिया में, हरियाणा जैसे एरिया में क्यों इतनी गुंडागर्दी है, यूपी बिहार में क्यों इतनी गुंडागर्दी है? क्योंकि इमेच्योर लोगों के हाथ में पावर है, इमेच्योर लोगों के हाथ में फ्रीडम। सेम गोज विद द जस्टिस। जस्टिस इज द कॉन्सिक्वेंस, रिजल्ट है वो किसी चीज़ का। किस चीज़ का? मैच्योरिटी का। जब आदमी मैच्योर होता है तब जस्टिस आता है सोसाइटी में। अगर आप जस्टिस चिल्ला रहे हो, इसका मतलब सोसाइटी आपकी पूरी करप्ट है, इमेच्योर सोसाइटी है।
Justice is not a cause that you take up, because the moment you take it up as a cause, then you will see divisions will happen. You versus me will happen. Once you versus me happens even for the right reasons, all the wrong things will happen, isn't it? Suppose in the name of justice, these two segments of this student body gets divided, even if it's for the right reason, the result will be all the wrong things, isn't it? Hello? So it's very important we understand what is the cause and what is the consequence. Injustice is a consequence of an immature society. Injustice is a consequence of a limited identities people have taken in so many different ways. If you do not take that and try to bring justice, all you will create is a full-on fight. And when a fight happens, there'll be no justice of any kind. All that'll happen is pain and destruction for all sorts of people. But when you're in that mode, because I know this, because I was so fired up for those few years, I thought I'll go. Two of my friends went. One, I don't know where he disappeared. The other one got killed about 8 years ago. He became a major revolution leader in Karnataka and he got killed by the police. And when his family informed me about this, this boy was so dear to me. He was just 1 year younger to me. Why I'm saying this is, the moment you speak about consequence as a source, you're creating trouble unknowingly. You will create more damage than solution. See, right now, why does injustice happen? Why will I be unjust to you?
पहले जब तक आप समझोगे नहीं ना कि इनजस्टिस है क्यों दुनिया में, बिना इसको समझे, या क्यों लोगों के साथ नाइंसाफ़ी हो रही है, बिना इसको समझे, क्यों डिवीज़न है, बिना इसे समझे, अगर आप ऐसे ही चले जाओगे तो फिर लड़ाइयाँ ही होनी है। फिर लड़ाई होती है, बिना मतलब की लड़ाइयाँ होती हैं। इनजस्टिस होगा ही होगा, रोक नहीं सकते।
Simply because my identity and my commitment to well-being is about myself and maybe my family or maybe my community, not for you. It's already set. It's only a question of time.
मुझे याद नहीं है, शायद सदगुरु ने कहा था कभी, और वो बहुत पावरफुल स्टेटमेंट था कि आपको ऐसा क्यों लगता है कि आप अगर किसी के साथ एक गिलास पानी अपना शेयर करने को तैयार नहीं हो, आप खुद एक गिलास पानी शेयर करने को तैयार नहीं हो, लेकिन आप अमीरों से एक्सपेक्ट करते हो कि वो अपनी वेल्थ शेयर करें, क्यों? आप कह सकते हो कि मेरे पास थोड़ा है, लेकिन हो सकता है किसी को 1000 करोड़ थोड़े लगते हो। अडानी चौथा सबसे अमीर आदमी है दुनिया का आज के टाइम पे, लेकिन अडानी को नहीं लगता वो ज़्यादा। अगर आप खुद पहले शेयर नहीं कर सकते तो आप दूसरे से कैसे उम्मीद रख सकते हो कि कोई आपके साथ कुछ शेयर करेगा? बहुत सीधी सी बात है।
Time when you and me come in touch, this prejudice will find expression, but it is set in my heart, isn't it so? Instead of working at what is happening within the human beings, which will take a lifelong commitment to solve, Today we can go out on the street, justice for everybody, justice for everybody. All you need is a, placard and shouting for one day and go back home. So always we will pick up…
लोगों ने मजाक बना दिया ना, प्रोटेस्ट को अब कोई सीरियसली लेता नहीं है, क्योंकि प्रोटेस्ट को लोगों ने खुद मजाक बना दिया, सिर्फ चिल्लाने से, हल्ला मचाने से या चीज़ें तोड़ देने से। अभी ये जो अभी कुछ दिन पहले जो सेना में भर्ती के नाम पे हुआ, अग्निवीर योजना में कई लोगों की बेचारे के, मैंने एक बंदे का इंटरव्यू देखा, वो बेचारा रो रहा था, उसने नई गाड़ी खरीदी थी कुछ दिन पहले, और हमारे यहाँ गाड़ी कितनी बड़ी चीज़ होती है ये सबको पता है। उसने कुछ दिनों पहले ही नई गाड़ी खरीदी थी, उस बेचारे की गाड़ी जला दी। ये प्रोटेस्ट है, बताओ। वो ऑन कैमरा बंदा बिलक बिलक के रो रहा है कि आपको पता भी है मैं कितनी मेहनत से मैंने ये गाड़ी ली थी।
Consequences as a cause. Don't do that. Don't talk about freedom, talk about responsibility. If we live responsibly, we will have a free society, isn't it? If we talk about freedom, we will do freaky things. I come from that era where next to revolution was freedom, okay? We grew up in 60s. Freedom, 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 all that happened is, by the time I became 35, at least 12 to 13 of my very close friends all died, either on motorcycles or because of overdoses. Yes, because freedom.
मुक्ति चाहिए।
So, freedom, justice, equality, these are all consequences of evolving a human being to a certain level of maturity. If you are not willing to do that work on individual level, that each human being here evolves to that level of maturity, if that you're not willing to do, these things will only cause more trouble.
I think it's a very related question, but really targeted towards organized…
मुझे समझ में नहीं आता, पता नहीं क्या हालत है यार। ऐसी बात पे आदमी के पैर छू लेने चाहिए। इन लोगों को पता नहीं समझ में आया भी कि नहीं आया।
religion and something that I've struggled with.
इस बात की गहराई इन्हें समझ में आई भी कि नहीं आई कि ये बंदा अभी क्या बोल गया है।
I understand, the pursuit of freedom, justice, but oftentimes what I've struggled with in regards to religion, I grew up Catholic, I'm Catholic, is its view and limited acceptance of the LGBT community. And the fact that I am LGBTQ and trying to understand how I fit in, and oftentimes I was not accepted. It depended on, how progressive a church was, but how do you see religion playing a role in the justice, in being more tolerable, compassionate towards people from different sexualities?
A bishop went to the mental asylum, not as a patient but to give a talk. So they gathered people like this. He spoke. Nobody was listening to what he was saying, they were all busy with their own things. But there was just one guy in the front row who, without batting an eyelid, was listening and drinking up every word that he was talking. Nobody else, not a single person was listening except this one guy. After an hour-long speech, the moment the talk was over, that guy got up, went there, like there is a dean in the hall, there was a medical professional there. He went to him, said something to him and then left. So the bishop was very eager to know what that guy said, because nobody else was listening, he was the only guy listening. So bishop inquired with the doctor, what did that guy say? He was listening to me very keenly. So the doctor said, he just asked, why am I in and why is he out?
As a follow-up, what are your thoughts on human sexuality?
Oh, I didn't think about it, but I was born out of it. I'm a consequence.
Someone had fun.
But I think, so one thing that you've mentioned previously is that sexuality shouldn't be promoted. I think that was in one of your…
Sexuality पे बात करने की तुम्हें जरूरत क्या है? जो हो वो हो, रहो ना मजे से, क्या दिक्कत है यार। सोसाइटी की भी दिक्कत ही है, मतलब जो है वो है ना, तुम भागने से कुछ नहीं होता। LGBTQ हैं इस दुनिया में, और इसको इतना ग्लोरीफाई करने की भी कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है। कोई अगर है तो है, वो उसकी बॉडी है।
your talks, and so I'm curious, kind of, I assumed, and again this is my assumption, that when you mentioned that, I almost felt as though, you know, don't publicize your gayness or don't publicize your non-gayness, and so I'm trying to understand why you said that, like you're thinking around
I
it.
thought this is one aspect of life which doesn't need publicity. Anyway, people will go for it, doesn't need any marketing, I said. Hello?
जिसको जो
If
करना
you
है वो
want to
करेगा
sell
ही
a
वो।
drink, you have to market it. If you make a movie, you have to market it. If you write a book, you have to market it. Sexuality does not need marketing. Hello?
It's a private thing.
It's been on for a million years without any marketing.
It's an
All right?
integral
So
part.
I said, why are you publicizing it? Everybody will do what they have to do. What individual people do with their bodies is their business, it's not of public debate.
So, I think we're about to wrap up our questions and we're going to open up questions to the audience. So we have the two questions. Before we get there, my favorite topic, Rohan mentioned food. You cook yourself. I believe Isha has also published a cookbook. Can you talk a little bit about food from the yogic diet perspective? Or what are things that we should be actively doing on a daily basis if I do choose to go the less…
आज के लिए इतना काफ़ी है, क्योंकि ये काफ़ी बड़ा ऑलमोस्ट 2 घंटे का वीडियो है, 1 घंटा और 47 मिनट, क्योंकि मैंने 8 बजे के आसपास भी मैंने लाइव स्ट्रीम की थी। दिस इज़ अनदर लाइव स्ट्रीम, मुझे नींद नहीं आ रही थी, so that's why I have started streaming. But I think that's enough for today's session. So hope you like the live stream, hope you enjoy the live stream. और अगर किसी का कोई और request है, just like in the comment box, so just like in the chat box, you can also write it down in the comment box as well. Okay, तो हम उसके ऊपर भी रिएक्शन देने की कोशिश करेंगे. Okay, live reaction. चलो, that's it for this one. Bye bye. Good night.